New Ways, New Days offers information about resources and opportunities for individuals with special needs in our communities. It began through a collaboration of community partners and parents in La Crosse, Wisconsin. This program is now being made possible through the combined efforts of CISA 4, CISA 7, Wisconsin Facets, the School District of La Crosse, and your local cable provider. And now, New Ways, New Days.
Welcome to New Ways, New Days. I'm Cheryl Otten from Great Rivers Independent Living Services.
And I'm Pam Fagan from the School District of La Crosse. I'm a program support teacher here. Today you'll be watching a video entitled I Am a Beautiful Person, Sexuality and Me, produced by a video for parents of teens with disabilities, produced by the Pacer Center. After you watch the video, please stay with us as we'll be having comments and suggestions for both parents and students when it's done. Thank you.
As a parent with a daughter with a disability, we had to be concerned with her as a total person. As part of that total person, we had to think about her sexuality and her ability to establish relationships up into the future.
Okay, it was difficult for us to know where we began, to seek out resources. If they were out there, we did not know about them. And I just cannot emphasize enough to parents to seek out resources, maybe through a community agency, through the doctor, whatever, but seek out information because it's important because you're not by yourself.
Sexuality is difficult to deal with at any point in time. It's even more difficult if the young person happens to have a disability. When I was injured, there were no real resources available. My family had no way to really understand how to deal with this issue. What we seem to have found is that it's important to deal with sexuality and the definition that it makes up for you. We met with several groups of young people with disabilities who shared and highlighted some of the issues that they had about sexuality as they were evolving. What we heard from them was that they need to be listened to. While this video isn't going to solve all of the problems or give you all the answers, it can be a starting point perhaps for discussion to be able to interact and listen to your young person.
I feel it's not necessarily just about sex or how you have sex or who you have sex with, but it's more about self-image and self-esteem and awareness of your own body, and whether or not you're comfortable with it, or if you're comfortable with someone else seeing it. It starts much earlier than, you know, like your teen years. It can start when you're a child, all about how comfortable you are with yourself and with others.
I feel that sexuality also is, you know, your way of expressing yourself too, whether you be, you know, bisexual or lesbian or whatever sexuality you choose to be. It's just your way of expressing yourself, you know, in a physical way. That's what I think.
I think for me it's interesting in that just by looking at the word, I break it into three parts for me. Obviously, sex is one part of it, and the you in the middle of sexuality represents who I am as a person and my individual unique kinds of issues around the total picture of sexuality. And then for me, the reality is all of those influences around me that kind of drive me or try and control me or influence who I am and how I'm going to respond or whatever. So it's a much broader issue, and at times I think it's too bad that it's sex unality, because a lot of times you don't get beyond the sex to look at who you are and what those influences are. So.
Well, sexuality means on me is I would just wait. That would be the best thing for me, is to wait till I got married and have a better job and better relationships instead of jumping in.
A lot of people have this myth instilled in them, well, both able-bodied and disabled people, depending on who brought them up or how they were taught. But a lot of people have the myth that we're like asexual. You know, that's just not an issue with us, and that's not true at all. You know, we have feelings just like anyone else does.
a few years ago and everything, this person came into my life, you know, a male, and I guess he just really made me realize that I am a person, you know, a beautiful person, and that he's attracted to me in a physical way. And before that had happened, I didn't feel very worthy. I didn't feel very sexual. And so going through that experience with him and everything, I finally realized, you know, that I am a sexual person and everything, and that's capable for me too in this life, you know, to be able to express myself in a sexual way. I'm no less than anybody else that's out here, you know what I mean? And he found me to be very attractive, you know, and so that really helped me to believe that, you know, I'm okay, you know, I'm okay out here.
Probably one of the things that, as a parent, I was most concerned about was whether Mac would have people in his life other than his family that truly, really care about him. He's been a member of a social recreation group now for a couple of years, and through that he's met some really good friends, and he's developed a relationship with a girl. I've thought a lot about the best way to teach Mac about sexuality, and one of the things that really helped me to figure out how to do it is reading about the definition of sexuality in a much broader way, understanding that it doesn't just mean having a physical relationship, it's about having warm and caring relationships. This has made it easier for me to begin to learn more about the sexuality issues for him and approach those issues.
I didn't hear anything about it, about sex as a child. And it was like all of a sudden, it was like the whole sky opened up. And it was like I wanted to experience everything. And I made some bad choices back then, but I think it's easier for me to see how it happened. And I feel like I kind of had to have that experience in order to kind of put myself in the place I am right now.
They said if I ever get into a relationship, wait about 10 years after I started dating to get married and get with all the other physical stuff.
I don't want this to sound like, you know, we want the parents to sit down and you know, have this big cram session, like, what are we going to teach them, you know, and then, like, throw it all at them. I mean, this is like an ongoing thing in your day-to-day lives to, you know, instill in them, you know, all of the things that we talked about.
I mean, I think that the family kids should be given all the same information and the same and have the parent have the same feeling of confidence that the kid can have a relationship. But I think it's also important that they talk about the issues of people, you know, being apprehensive about wheelchairs or whatever, disabilities in general, so that that's not completely, like, skirted, because it is an issue. I think it's important, too, that the parents get clear on their feelings about their kid with a disability. I mean, I think a lot of people in society don't feel that disabled people are able to have sexual relationships, and I think that this is just the beginning of it. So I think that the parents need to really get clear before they talk to their kids on their own feelings. And if they are going to say, well, it's okay for you to do it, but deep inside be thinking it's never going to happen, you know, that's going to have an effect on the kids. So the parent needs to come to terms with it themselves first and then talk to the child.
Oh, it's something that isn't good, is that, like, okay, in junior high I would feel like this, and that was like, okay, this person likes me, I better quick scoop it up and take advantage of it, when that's not even what I wanted. So that's no good.
I agree with what Julie said about in high school and junior high. The kids that you're around are way more self-conscious and unsure of themselves, and so the disability is more of a status symbol that bothers them. But once, you know, you're an adult in the regular world and talking to other adults, it is a lot easier to overcome that.
I said to myself, I'm not going to be stupid or dumb enough to do what all the other high school girls did.
So you were making a choice for yourself to be able to say, I'm not going to just follow the group. I'm going to hold on to what's important for me and stay who I am, huh?
It's both terrific and terrifying because you put yourself out there trying to meet people and you have no idea how it's going to go, and you're just in the process of finding out who these people are and how they operate and if you're compatible and everything else. The whole process of dating just takes a lot of time, and people need to be patient around the process. Everybody has something to offer in any and all relationships. They just need the right person to know how to appreciate them in that way.